Welcome everybody. So glad you have joined me for the live stream this evening. If it's your first time, welcome to my show. I do this weekly at 7 p.m. at Central Standard Time here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, etc. Feel free to say hello wherever you are watching from. And we will get started with the show this evening. My live stream is pretty laid back. I paint, you watch, and we chat. So I will kind of paint through a couple of hours usually, and I feel like a little off. My routine is off. I don't know what's off tonight. Maybe because I'm painting a landscape again instead of wildlife. The last 2 weeks we've done wildlife paintings. We did or maybe 3 weeks we did a hummingbird, and then we did a lion, and last week we did a parrot. They turned out really well. This week we're back to a landscape, which I hope you'll enjoy. That's kind of where I started. About 6-8 months ago, I started teaching myself to paint on YouTube, and was just a way to kind of relax through this challenging and stressful time. I needed an outlet, a hobby, to kind of a creative hobby, just to kind of give me some stress relief, and it's turned into something more than that. It's been a learning experience and a lot of fun. So I'm glad that you've joined me along the way. This is open house style, pop in, pop out. Live stream, 2-hour live stream's a long one, so I never expect that people will stay the whole 2 hours, but I'm always glad when you join me for the show. Thanks so much for stopping in, Lola. It's always good to see you, and really enjoyed the painting you did of Tybee Island that you posted on Instagram. That was a lot of fun. It brought me back to when I was there, probably almost 10 years ago now. But it's a beautiful part of the country. Hey, sister. So glad to have you on the show this evening. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. All right, let's get started, y'all. Let me find my reference photo and put this up. So this photo, every time I see it, all that pops into my head is that song, Country Road, and so I thought it'd be fun to try to work on this evening. It looks like a fun painting. This is also a painting or a reference photo from the Facebook group that I belong to that provides reference photos for artists. So we are gonna... Hey there, Yogesh. So glad to have you joining, and maybe your family joining. So glad to have you all on the live stream. We're about to jump into the painting. You see the reference photo there in the right-hand corner of your screen, and we'll get started this evening with this painting. If you have questions along the way or you have comments, feel free to jump in at any point. I can see the comments from wherever you are joining on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you're watching. Feel free to stop in and say hello. Hey there, Bob G. So glad to have you. It was great chatting with you last night. Good to catch up, and glad that you got the vaccination. That's awesome. Glad to have you on the show this evening. All right, so let's jump in, y'all. I've said that about 3 times now, so let's actually do this. I'm going to pull y'all closer, so I'm going to switch cameras. That way I don't make y'all sick with the camera moving too much. Let me get this set up. Actually, there we go. Welcome, those of you just popping into the live stream tonight. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We are getting set up to attempt this beautiful photo that you see in the right-hand corner of your screen. So glad to have you. All right. Let me switch back to over my shoulder so you can kind of see a little easier what we're doing, and I'll pull it more this direction. All right, all right, all right. So as much as possible, you're looking straight on to the canvas. Um, okay, so as always, I have in front of me the photo reference photo, but I also have a black and white copy, so I can look for value match. That's something I am working on. The other thing that you all know, those of you that have been here each week, is I'm also working on light effects. So obviously this composition is really good for that. The focal point is perfectly composed at the center, and the road leads us right in, doesn't it? Right into the center. So makes it this one a little bit easier as far as composition, but that's what we're focusing on. So we really are looking for the light and the proper values. So the lightest values in this painting are right here, obviously right where the sun is. And along this edge is going to be the lightest values, with the other kind of secondary values right here, and then kind of tertiary in here. So that's what we want to get right, are these, with the darkest values really being along the road, and then a little bit in these clouds as kind of secondary and tertiary. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. Hey there, Mom and Dad, I assume. So glad to have you pop in. Thanks so much. Heather's also in here, or was earlier. It was funny today, a customer called and the caller ID said Steve Rice. There's a few of us. Gotta go finish giving the kids their baths. May stop again later to see your progress. Absolutely. We'll see you soon, Heather. Caller ID, Steve Rice. Yeah, I actually used to do customer service, but not calling from my own phone. So that was years ago. But there are a few of us out there in the world. Hey there, April. Glad to have you pop in. Thanks so much for saying hello. I've really enjoyed chatting with the people in the Move to Arkansas group. It's been a lot of fun. I'm so grateful you put that together and have started building a little community there. Okay, this week, different than the last few weeks, I did not do any sketching on my canvas, but I do want to go and lay in a horizon. Now the focal point again is right in here, so it's a pretty low horizon, so let's just put in a horizon line about there. Whoops, that's not quite even, something like that. That gives us plenty of room. Then we'll kind of, and there's kind of a third horizon line with the focal point there. Okay. That'll give us some kind of, all right. I'm balancing multiple things going on. Okay, so we have our horizon line, and we need to start laying in some of this. So let's go in and establish these values. Let's establish the dark values first. So let me see, I'm looking for another brush here. All right, I guess it is this my trusty brush. Okay, so I'm going to take some green. And blue and brown. So on my palette right now, I have ultramarine blue, phthalo green, and burnt umber, and some titanium white. So we'll mix a little bit of this green to come across here on the at the horizon line. I'm gonna bring in a little of the brown so that it's nice and dark. All right, so we got nice dark green to really begin to lay in this horizon, this sharp horizon line. Oh, might not be dark enough. Or my brush is too wet. I was painting earlier. Maybe at the break I'll show you all what I was painting earlier this afternoon. I didn't get done, but also a beautiful landscape. Yeah, I think this is better. So I was cleaning my brushes in my... Okay, I don't know if it'll show up on there, but basically I did doing some dark green with a little of the blue. I mixed it in so it's darker to bring in along this horizon line. So where we really will bring the eye right in. Oh, good suggestion. Yeah, the dollar store. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I may have gotten some glassware at the dollar store. I like it because if I break a glass, number one, they often replace. I mean, you can get the same thing, and if it's broken, it's $1, and I don't have to feel devastated. Glad you did that. Hopefully, it'll work well. Yeah, I just couldn't. I mean, I know there are all kinds of different types of palettes people like, but I can't see spending anything more than a couple bucks when you can get a plate and it works. At least works for me. At some point, I may be more hoity-toity. That's kind of a goofy word, but hoity-toity, hoity-toity. Okay, now that we have this kind of horizon line laid in, what I want to do is lay in some of the darkest values here to begin to establish this composition. what I've learned by a lot of trial and error is that laying in your darker values first is a good plan, because it's always, not always, but it's often easier to lay in light over dark. Okay. And since I'm here, I'm just going to go into the corner and kind of paint the edge of this painting. That way it's kind of matched the colors that I'm putting in. Okay. Now, it's not quite the same. Actually, I think I made a mistake. So I think my road actually goes more like this. This is one of the reasons, though, that I didn't do a drawing or a sketch, because I don't want to get too dependent on sketches. I want to continue to develop my skill drawing. So that's one of the reasons I didn't do a sketch to lay out the perfect, because I could have measured the perfect kind of side of this. Okay, it looks strange, but it will get better. Let's just put this in. And where's my other green? All right, I'm noticing another area of value change is over here in this, on the edge where this kind of brown color comes in. There's a darker or a deeper value spot right along this edge. So I'll kind of put that in. One of the other challenges with this painting is I went back to a smaller canvas, and so even this small brush is pretty big for this canvas. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, April, for tagging Teresa. I appreciate you spreading the word. We just got started and are laying in kind of the foundational color and values for this beautiful landscape tonight. Use your paintbrush to measure to be sure your lines are at the right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea. I've seen people do that, but I haven't done that a lot myself. But it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Like, a few weeks ago when I was working on the lion, it all kind of fell together fairly quickly. Remember that? And it was like, and I think I mentioned, like, there's a point in painting and putting together a painting when you just think, ugh, I just screwed this up and it's no good. And you have to push through. I'm getting to that point much earlier in this painting than the last few weeks. So this is a good thing, though, because I never want to lose that, I don't think. I always want to have that feeling of kind of panic that's, even though I know I can do it, that kind of says I messed it up or I can't fix it, because it makes you, it forces you really to trust the process. Because there's no other option. I mean, there is. You could just walk away, but I'm not very good at that. I'm not too good at just giving up. So that's not fair. I'm not good at giving up at all. I'm a little stubborn in that regard. So not gonna happen. Doesn't happen on my watch. Another challenge with these, I've talked about acrylics before being, they're so fast drying. Another challenge with acrylics is that they, not only are they fast drying, but they are also fairly translucent. And so it's a good thing they are fast drying, because you can add layers fairly quickly, but it's frustrating when they don't cover and they just pull, the paint just comes up off the canvas. Like right in here, you can see the white of the canvas still there. See that? Which is, it's going to work to my advantage anyway, because I'm going to have some yeah, see, I just pull up the paint, so I need to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to have highlights there anyway, so, but I'm just pulling up paint off the canvas, which is no good. So we'll let that dry. We'll go to the road and to the sky. Hey there, Brandon. Thanks so much for popping in. Really appreciate it. I am looking forward to seeing what this looks like finished also, if I actually mess it up, or if I can do it. It's hard because, like, do it justice. This is such a gorgeous photo that it's like hard to do it justice, but it is a beautiful attempt. Okay. So I think what I want to do is go here to the road. So let's lay in the road. And we're going to do this with some brown. We need almost a gray. It's almost a gray. It's kind of a cold brown as opposed to warm, meaning more blue and green in the color than red. Remember, if you all are hearing the sirens through the outside, I live just down the street from the fire station, and I live downtown, so there's always activity. especially on the weekend. That's where all the fire and ambulance and stuff comes from. All right. So I mixed this brown. Let's see value-wise how that is. I've taken, it was this brown, so I've taken, you can see I've taken quite a bit of the red tone out of the brown by adding little bits of that blue. It almost looks like a purplish color, but I think that's pretty good for the road. So let's lay it in as a first cover. Pop it up here on the okay. I like this color as the base layer at least. So that's good. We'll just have to probably do a couple of layers of it because it's not covering, it's soaking into the canvas pretty deeply, but let's see. Gives us kind of a starting point. There we go. All right. Actually, I like what is going on with this brown. So I took some white into it, directly into the brown, because I think actually this could be a really nice color. No, it's too dark. To start that sky. All right, so we lightened it up even more. Isn't it funny how it looks so bright on the, it looks almost white on the plate, but then when you put it up on the, up here, it looks so dark. Whoops. By using that brown instead of trying to do kind of a purple color, it will help unify the painting. Okay, so now I want to bring in okay. Just a little more. I'm adding just a tad, a touch of magenta. So adding just a touch of this magenta, a little bit goes a long way to that brown. to take it over into this darker sky here. Above the sun there. Ooh. We're going to bring the purple in now, or try to. I'm looking at my value reference here. There's kind of this goes across. Everywhere we kind of have this value, we'll try to just drop in this blue, kind of purple, magenta color. And I think we're going to emphasize the edges, kind of like we did with the lion. I really want to have the eye drawn all the way here, so I'm going to maybe darken these edges more than I normally would, or more than the actual references, so that it really draws in the eye to the center of the painting. So I may draw these some of these values a little darker than they actually are on purpose. Thanks, Lola. The main thing is to try to get some of these basic shapes in, and cover the canvas, of course, but that's the challenge. Hi, Tanya. So glad to see you. Thanks for popping by for a few minutes. I appreciate it. Okay. There's kind of this right here, these clouds that are and they kind of dissipate upward into kind of a gray. Thanks, Mr. Davis. When's the sale? I always said if somebody comes along and offers me, well, actually, I don't always say. My mother asked me that recently, and I said, well, she asked if I was going to start selling paintings, and I said, no, I don't think so. It's not really the point at this stage of the game. But I mean, if somebody offers me $1,000, obviously, I would find a way to make the sale happen. But we're not quite there yet. But you never know. You never know. Could get there eventually. Okay, I want to take this almost all as light as I can up here. There's this beautiful dance, and I don't know that it comes across in the on the stream, but there's this quite beautiful thing happening between the cool blues and the bright and the red, or kind of more red toned warm magentas in the sky, which is really kind of a fun thing to see unfold, to see if I can capture it. Because there's this blue, for example, on this side that is ringed by where the light reflects a little more magenta or purple, which is really quite beautiful. And it's cool to try to, well, that's going to be a little too much. A little too much red probably, but with clouds, there's tons of layers we can do. Ooh, that's not good. And I don't think y'all can see the that's not good part. But let me show you. I went to put yellow on there and it was green. So that's not a good plan because I really want this almost white yellow coming out of the clouds. So let's see what we can do. We'll just put this all through here. The deal with this is yellow is one of the most translucent colors, so it doesn't cover anything. Okay. Do you see the white heart in the upper left blues? Oh, yeah. Right up in here. That's a good question. I will, when I go back to put in the highlights, I will definitely, in fact, it's too tempting. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. We might have to repaint it, but because it may get painted over. But I wonder, there's kind of like a, right in there. While we're at it, might as well, right? Ha! Excellent. Okay. Now, let's go back, and I am not happy with this at all right now. Not sure the values are that I have right now are working for me, but I think I can make it work. So I'm gonna try a softer brush and a softer touch. I need kind of a Gracias, mommy. But I think you're probably a little biased. That's okay. I will take all the biased compliments I can get. One of the keys, at least so far for me with painting, is you just keep layering and doing until you're happy, until it's what you're looking for. That's half of it. Maybe that's why I'm, you know, any part of it that I'm good at is that I just don't give up. I think that's a big part of it. Just don't give up. Just not gonna quit. Okay, I'm taking this kind of yellow purple here. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm taking this yellow purple and I'm diffusing it with a lot of white. This is what it looks like on the palette, which is weird. But on the canvas, it actually is this color. And I think that's a good color for those clouds right under the sun. And over here, I really appreciate that, especially right now, because it's not feeling like it's coming together, but I know that it will. Yep, you're right. You're always right, Lola. Someday when somebody says, "Who did you study under?" I'm going to say, "It was Lola. It was Lola." My faithful YouTube teacher. Who reminded me to measure things like perspective and step back and for actual perspective. That's why I think it helps so much. It kind of, your encouragement kind of walks me off the ledge in my own head because I'm too critical of myself. All right. Miss Lola has said it's time to step back and take a look, y'all. So, you know what that means. It's time to step back and take a look. So, let us do that. Plus, you know what time it is. Haha. Murky water time. Murky water time. All right. Stepping back. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite. But it's getting there. So I'm not going to anything. I'm going to run and grab some new Wawa, and I will put up the dancing GIF for y'all. And I will be right back. Means it's time for another scotch while you get Wawa. Sounds good, Bob G. We will I will drink water, you will drink scotch. Neither of us drinking alone. All right. That helps to have y'all here. That's why I enjoy doing these, because otherwise I'd just be painting by myself, all by my lonesome. And that's no fun. Oops. All right. I am going to turn back to the over the shoulder view here. And I think I want to spend some time, since we have about 45-ish minutes left, I want to spend some time working on the bottom portion or the lower portion of the painting, since we spent so much time on the top. It's not done and I don't like where it is, but right now, but I think if we take some time to work on this lower portion, maybe we can get that pretty much done in the next 30-40 minutes. What do y'all say? Let's go in and I'm going to go back in here and work on this horizon line again, reestablish that. All right, now on this side is kind of a Yes. Yes, yes, yes. To I'm going to go back to take some deep of that deep blue up into the clouds. Because I want it really to, I don't want it to be I don't want it to be so flat. Like right now, the painting feels flat to me in person. Um, the focal point I want isn't drawing me in the way I want it to. So, um, yeah. Hey there. Thanks, Chase. Appreciate you popping in. I am just doing some detail work, trying to get this right. It's not exactly what I'd like, but I am learning. Trying to improve this a little bit. As we go. I think one of the challenges for me, because the clouds, the sky looks beautiful, and it's fine enough on the canvas, but it's still missing, like, it still feels flat to me here. And I think one of the things that is um, one of the things that is the most challenging is figuring out how to see, and I really do think it's values. It goes back to what we said of values. It's seeing the values versus the colors, because in the clouds there are so many different colors, but one color looks different on this side versus this side. Like, this color looks gray right here, but it's actually a bright yellow. But it's against a white and another yellow, so it looks gray. But if I go over into here, it's too bright. And so it really is working, for me, I think it really is working these consistently, working these values so that they work. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what it means, but, like, I don't know what that rant was about, other than I think that's what's missing, is going back and getting some of these values correct. Valentine's Day painting. I do not know. I have not made a decision. Should it be a should it be wildlife or should it be landscape? What do you think? Or what are your thoughts? Sounds great, Bob. Have a great evening. I'm about to wrap this up in the next, yeah, 10 minutes. Okay. Final thing tonight that I want to do, I think, is I want to do a couple of these dark clouds. Let's see. And I think there's one right in there. All right, y'all. I have gone over. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, thank you. I have gone over my time, and so it is more than time for me to say goodnight to all of you. I appreciate you joining me for the live stream. I'm pleased with what we've gotten. This is where we are. This is where we are. I'm still in these really vibrant landscapes, really vibrant sunsets. I'm still not quite happy with what I'm able to do compared to like the light is just a little flat for me. Again, I think it is. I think it goes back to values and the value, the depths of the value against the lights. Getting that balance correct, I think, is what it's going to take my ability to the next level. I don't know, and as I always say, that there's always a time when you have to say, I'm pleased with what it is at the level of the skill I have. So for right now, for the time, the 2 hours we've spent, pretty happy. I will continue to work on it and continue to explore this idea because I want to figure it out for myself. I want to figure out what the key is because I know once I get it, I'll always have it. I'll always be able to create it, and it will make me happy. So, but when I step back and look, I'm happy. So I appreciate you joining me. Hope you have a great evening. And I will see you next Saturday, 7 p.m. If you are not already subscribed, please do so right here on YouTube. You can also follow kind of my progress painting photos on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, at Stephen E. Rice, you can do so. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great evening, everybody.